Hey everybody, it's the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm Aaron Maté sitting in for Jimmy here at the Americans comedian Kurt Metzger. And remember Pat Tillman? He was the NFL star who, after the 9/11 attacks, joined the military to fight in Afghanistan, where he was killed.
Friendly fire incident in Afghanistan? Or
yes, in Afghanistan. Now, initially, friendly fire was not what we were told. We were told that he was killed by insurgents, by enemy fire. And then the truth came out that actually he was killed by friendly fire. And there's been a lot of questions raised about that. Because one of the things about Pat Tillman, known about him, is that he was actually pretty anti-war. But despite volunteering to go fight, he was a fan of Noam Chomsky and had some pretty strong anti-war views. And so at the Super Bowl, a tribute was paid to him. And here it is, some ceremony related to his foundation. Here's a video that they played at the Super Bowl. There it is. And here's the headline from Common Dreams. Anti-war voices accuse Super Bowl of hijacking the Pat Tillman story. One journalist reminded readers that the NFL star and Army Ranger called the Iraq invasion and occupation effing illegal and was killed by friendly fire in an incident the military covered up and tried to hide from his family. Here's more from Common Dreams. Advocates of peace, truth, and basic human decency on Sunday excoriated the NFL whitewashing of former Arizona Cardinal and Army Ranger Pat Tillman's death in Afghanistan by so-called friendly fire and the military's subsequent cover-up. Critical details omitted from a glowingly patriotic Super Bowl salute. As a group of 4 Pat Tillman Foundation scholars chosen as honorary coin toss captains were introduced via a video segment narrated by actor Kevin Costner, viewers were told how Tillman, quote, gave up his NFL career to join the Army Rangers and ultimately lost his life in the line of duty. The video did not say how Tillman died, what he thought about the Iraq War, or how the military lied to his family and the nation about his death. This outraged many viewers. Obviously, the Army killing Pat Tillman and covering it up afterwards is the worst thing the U.S. military did to him. But the years they've spent rolling out his portrait backed by some inspirational music as a recruiting tool is a surprisingly close second, tweeted writer Jay Willis. Pat Tillman called the Iraq invasion and occupation effing illegal and was killed by friendly fire in an incident the military covered up and tried to hide from his family, tweeted Washington Post investigative reporter Evan Hill. Another year of hijacking the Pat Tillman story and not telling that he hated the Iraq War and was killed by the military, said one Twitter user. Tell the real story of Pat Tillman or get off the screen, fumed yet another. Tillman, 25 years old at the time, turned down a $3.6 million contract with the Cardinals to enlist in the U.S. Army in May 2002 after 9/11. He expected to be deployed to Afghanistan. Instead, he was sent to invade Iraq, a country that had no ties to 9/11. Tillman quickly came to deplore the fucking illegal war and even made loose plans to meet with anti-war intellectual Noam Chomsky, according to The Intercept's Ryan Devereaux. Pat and his brother Kevin were sent to Afghanistan in April 2004. Stationed at a forward operating base in Khost province, Pat was killed by what the Army said was enemy fire during a firefight. However, the Army knew in the days immediately following Tillman's death that he had been shot 3 times in the head from less than 30 feet away by so-called friendly fire, and that the U.S. troops had burned his uniform and body in a bid to conceal their fatal error. And this is Pat Tillman's brother testifying before Congress.
The most recent investigation by the Department of Defense Inspector General and the Criminal Investigative Division of the Army concluded that the killing of Pat was, quote, an accident. The handling of the situation after the firefight were described as a compilation of, quote, missteps, inaccuracies, and errors in judgment, which created the perception of concealment. The soldier who shot Pat admitted in his sworn statement that just before he delivered the fatal burst from about 35 meters away, that he saw his target waving hands, but he decided to pull the trigger anyway. Such an act is not an accident. It's a clear violation of the rules of engagement. Writing up a field hospital report stating that Pat was, quote, transferred to intensive care unit for continued CPR after most of his head had been taken off by multiple 5.56 rounds is not misleading, stating that a giant rectangle bruise covering his chest that sits exactly where the armor plate that protects you from bullets is being, quote, consistent with paddle marks is not misleading. These are deliberate and calculated lies. Writing a Silver Star Award before a single eyewitness account is taken is not a misstep. Falsifying soldier witness statements for a Silver Star is not a misstep. These are intentional falsehoods that meet the legal definition for fraud.
So that is Pat Tillman's brother before Congress. And amazingly, not even his family speaking out is enough to stop the whitewashing of his murder in Afghanistan.
It's so weird because the FBI was purposely holding back that Seth Rich laptop because his family might be hurt. Like,
that's true.
They really care about the family in certain areas, and it's odd that in this one no one cares.
Yeah, because the family interfered with a war narrative that the U.S. is desperate to maintain, and he is a martyr of that war.
Oh,
and,
what? Did you get that from your friend Cy Hirsch, the lying blogger who's been discredited several times?
Doing live stand-up comedy in Tempe, Palm Springs, Milwaukee, Nashville, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, Cohoes, New York, and Hartford, Connecticut. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets and become a premium member. Get access to all our content.